Healing House presents the Pain into Power podcast with me, Miss Theo, where we turn pain into power and self-sabotage into self-love. Follow along on Instagram at Healing House of Theo. That's HealingHouseofTheo. Or at the Pain into Power podcast on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you may listen and watch podcasts. Like, subscribe, and join the community. Welcome, fam. Let's turn this pain into power. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Pain into Power, where we turn self-sabotage into self-love and pain into power. Today is a very special episode where I got my girl, Andrea Somer, here, and we are combining our podcasts. So please welcome her as she introduces herself. Yeah!
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Art of Alignment. Today is a very special episode because I got my girl, Miss Theo, with me, and we are going to combine our podcast, and we're going to share a little bit about our own journeys and how we ended up working together and how we came up with the Wild Woman Retreat, and also sharing some details about the next one coming up. So I'm really excited to have her here with me today, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Yay! I'm so excited to be here. First of all, just grateful to be in Bali, which is such a transformative space.
Yeah.
And so grateful that Divine brought us together years ago. And who would have known that we would be here now? We just got done with our first Wild Woman Retreat, which was so transformative, not only for every single woman who came, but also for the both of us.
Yeah.
I feel like we quantum leapt.
We did. We did.
I'm like, oh my God.
Shifted the timeline.
Yes. So, hello to Andrea's audience. I am a healing artist, so I heal through Reiki. I'm a Reiki master and teacher, a soul transformational coach, an empowered photographer. I love taking photos, especially of women, and helping them to really truly see their true essence from within. Also cinematographer, singer, songwriter. I can't remember everything, but that basically encompasses most of it. I love to just experience life, and I'm so grateful that life brought me here to Bali with Andrea. So that's a little bit about me. Why don't you tell my audience a little bit about you, boo, and little Swedish fish?
Well, hello to Theo's audience. I am a somatic breathwork facilitator and a feminine embodiment coach. And I support women healing from self-abandonment and stepping into their true power, and also host retreats, which I took a long break from, 3 years or something before. Like Theo said, the divine brought us together and just birthed this beautiful retreat that we just did. That was so amazing.
I know. Well, let's take it way back.
Yeah.
Right? Because before you can really help others, you have to have gone through your own painful journey, right? So what brought you to this point? Like, what inspired you to first help women in their transformative journey? And what inspired you to go into somatic work?
Oh, how much time do we have?
We only got about 50 minutes, y'all. So.
I know. So my own healing journey started 8 years ago now, when I lost my dad to his addiction and mental illness. And that was the whole catalyst for my own healing work and my own spiritual journey. And for me, it was just a way to get through grief. Like that, I wasn't ready to, that was gonna unravel a whole bunch of other layers and bringing me back to my childhood and healing a lot of things, all of it. But so for me, I started turning to meditation first, and then through my own journey, I discovered that, okay, there's a lot here. There's childhood trauma, there's conditionings, there's my limitations and how I view life. And so I was doing fitness at the time, and I just started my personal training career. So I was already helping people from a holistic point of view and focus on the physical aspect of healing. And then as I started healing myself, I started discovering all these different modalities. And when COVID happened, my entire business disappeared. All the gyms closed. And I decided to go virtual and started to pivot my business. And I became a life coach. And then I felt like something was missing in my work. I felt like there was only so much that I could do and access through my conscious mind and through my mindset work. And so I felt like there was something in me that needed to heal on a deeper level. And that's when I discovered somatic work, and it completely changed my life. And the first somatic healing session I did, I walked out of there and I said to myself, I was like, this is the first time ever that I feel like I am breathing from like my belly, or like from where I'm supposed to breathe. And I recognized that I had been in survival mode for so long, like my whole life. And I was working with both men and women at the time, but there was something about my own healing journey. I was in survival mode. I was very much in my masculine energy. I was hyper independent, full on protection. I don't need anybody's help. And I was very, very disconnected from my feminine energy and essence. And it was hard for me to receive and relax and surrender. And so what actually became one of the biggest healing ways for me was to find dancing. And ever since I was a little girl, I would stand in front of the mirror, like most of us do, and just like perform and pretend I was Britney Spears, and like I would dance so much. But my family also growing up couldn't really afford dancing lessons. And so I was like, there's something in me that wants to try this again and like explore this hobby. And when I did, I started with something that's called heels class, which is very much like feminine, sensual type of dancing. And I was so uncomfortable. And instead of, there was so much judgment of myself, I really just became aware of my inner critic and my perfectionist. And instead of being like, fuck this, like this is so uncomfortable, I don't want to do this, I got curious about it. And I was like, what is here for me? Why am I so uncomfortable being in my own body, in my own skin, being confident, taking up space? And so dancing actually holds a very, very special place in my heart for healing. And that became a part of the work that I'm doing with women when it comes to embodiment work, mirror work. And that kind of took me on a different trajectory, or got me more into women's work, because I understood that there's so much conditioning, like the good girl conditioning, and how we show up and how we feel like we are meant to be in this box, and we have to be and act and behave a certain way to feel accepted, to feel loved, to feel chosen. And then, of course, my own relationships, my romantic relationship, the biggest initiations for all of us. And because of my father wound and my relationship with my father and my childhood trauma and just the good girl conditioning, I kept attracting emotionally unavailable, abusive, narcissistic partners, only to show me the beautiful way back home to myself. But through that work, I really understood that we as women are so unique, right, in our gifts, in our expressions, in our medicine to the world. But we also share the same stories, the same conditioning, the same way that this conditioning shows up in our lives through our relationships and through work and career, and how the fears that are present, they're all the same. And
Yeah.
so through my own healing journey, I really found all the different tools and modalities that I have found has helped me coming back to my truth and my power. And I also now get to witness it every single day in the women that I help.
Yes. And I know that the women you work with feel so honored and grateful to be working with you. I see it all the time. And we witnessed a lot of what you said during the Wild Woman Retreat.
Yeah.
It was like every single woman was so unique and different in their own ways. And they had a lot of untapped gifts as well. But when they came and they shared stories with each other and were just really open and vulnerable, we saw that everyone is really going through a lot of the same thing.
Yeah.
That conditioning, the good girl conditioning, the, how the system has, told us how to be and how to live. And our retreat's all about saying, fuck that, breaking you open and unleashing the wild woman within you. So it's such an honor to watch every single woman just break open in just like 8 days, 7 nights in 8 days. It was literally just 1 week, and they walked out completely different women. And so honored to do this work.
Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Yeah. You want to share a little bit about your journey into doing this work?
Sure. Okay, so first of all, I was born third child out of 5 from a refugee immigrant family. So that in itself already comes with a lot of trauma. And the generation before, we knew that our parents went through a lot of trauma, but there's a lot of things that they didn't know how to express, didn't know how to communicate. So it was really trapped, but it would come out in different ways. So as, being a child of that, growing up and witnessing that, then it kind of taught me like, oh, I'm supposed to also suppress my feelings and my emotions. Oh, all these things happened to me, but I'm just going to keep it inside, And then as I got older, and your body, right? The body keeps a score, your body knows. And, I have nightmares of certain things happening. And I was like, oh my God, this is just not, there's something off, but I don't know what to do about it. But I always had, as you know, this like inner fire inside of me, right? And I was like, hell no. I'm like, no. But then I moved to LA and after college, and I got into digital ad sales, which is a very masculine job as well, right? I was one of the top performers at my companies. I was like killing it. I loved it, making so much money, which in my refugee immigrant parents' eyes was like success, And of course, the good girl thing, I wanted to be a good daughter. I wanted to help them buy a house. I wanted to provide for my siblings when I could, and da-da-da-da. But over time, I found myself giving to everyone else but myself. And then I became depressed. I became suicidal. And I was like, what am I doing? More money, more problems, but money also isn't everything. And I saw that I had so much money in my bank account, but I was dying inside. And so to save my life, I left the corporate world. And I'm like, I'm just going to take this leap of faith because I cannot do this anymore. And so when I did that, I went through such, as they call it, what's that called? Ego death, and so many deaths and rebirths, trying to figure out who am I without being this woman who's providing for everyone. Where's my value now without that? So I had to relearn who I was. I had to slay my ego. I had to go through lots of mountains of pain to get there. I had to discover my gifts as well. And another thing that I discovered was my shaman gifts. Like, our family didn't talk about that because, first of all, in my culture, so I'm Hmong American, which is a minority of Southeast Asia and Southern China. And there's a very small amount of us. But if you Google us, it's HMONG, and also the Secret War. There were so many young men and men who were recruited by the CIA to actually help the Americans fight in the Vietnam War. And no one even knows about that. So I want to speak it out now because it's important to know. So Google it. But in our culture, it's also very patriarchal. You know, like my grandpa had, multiple wives, and that was like normal, right? And also only men were allowed to be shamans. And my great grandfather actually died while he from shamanism, because he was a shaman himself. So they say that if you're called to the work, they will make you sick until you do the work. You actually accept the gift. And so looking back at it now, I see, oh, I was becoming sick. I was getting physically sick all the time. I was depressed. I was suicidal. And I was just like, I was wearing black all the time, like I was going to my own funeral every single day, And it wasn't until I finally just let it all go, let go of what people thought of me, let go of people's expectations of me, let go of my need to please people and my family and my relationships as well, Like I was always the masculine in my relationships, always taking care of everything, paying for everything, like planning everything, doing everything, not receiving. And it broke me because, the divine feminine, we're not meant to be so masculine. We're meant to also be in flow and receive and trust our intuition and the universe. And that was really hard for me. And so through my own pain and learning how to turn my pain into power, I realized, oh, I went through all of this so that I can help others through this. And like, that's where you gain your wisdom. That's where you gain, the modalities that you're, aligned to. And that's what brought me here today. And it honestly took all the way till the Wild Woman retreat for me to feel really fully embodied, like, yeah, yeah, I'm proud of myself. And like, this is everything in the past 10 years has led me up to that point. And it's just seeing the energy between all of the women and us together and how incredibly powerful it was is, I think, something you and I will never forget. And we're like, oh my God, that was so special. What's the next one going to be like?
We get to do it again.
We get to do it again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a little bit of my story.
Yeah, and I think, that's everyone's journey is usually, it leads to a point where enough is enough.
Yeah.
If that's a death or a loss, or it's a really bad heartbreak, a relationship, or we get physically sick, because like you say, the body keeps the score, and everything that we're suppressing, like that energy has to go somewhere. And so it's just inevitable in our journey to hit that point. And it's so important that we have the perspective change. Like you said, oh, this happened so that I could step into my purpose and share my gifts and help other people. And I think that perspective is so important for people to adapt, because otherwise we get trapped in the victim mindset and we're like, why is this happening to me? And it's so hard. And I talk about it all the time, like, why do I have to be the generational cycle breaker? Why do I have to be the one? And instead feeling like I get to be the one. What a privilege for me to be able to do the work that my ancestors couldn't. And there's such a collective shift of the feminine rising and what's been going on in the world and what we see. We're at a point where it's literally like the new earth is forming, and the truth is like brewing underneath the surface, and it is that fire. And majority of people, or at least the people that are not, sleepwalking through life, feel this. And it's like, we have to use this and make the change and be the change that we want to see in the world, because clearly shit has not been working.
Right. Absolutely. And I love what you said about the generations before who didn't get to, maybe because they were so stuck in survival mode. I think about my mom who just passed last year, and like, I want to honor her even more with this work that I do, because she didn't get to live this life of freedom. She didn't have an opportunity for that. She just had to survive. So what we're doing, these cycle breakers, like, it is hard work, so hard, but it's so worth it, not only for us, but for our ancestral line and for everyone who comes after us, you know. And I'll just say what I love about Andrea and my partnership is that I feel like we're two puzzle pieces, you know, that fit perfectly well together. She works in the somatic physical world, and I work a lot in the energetic world, you know, and they have to work together.
Yeah, we need both.
You absolutely need. Ooh, I just got chills when I say that. Okay, when I get chills, it's like spirit confirming. They're like, woo, yes. Yeah, because when you know, first of all, energy, you are energy before even coming into your body. So your frequency, your vibration, what you think, that is what is going to manifest in your body. So you have to work on the energetics first, and then how it manifests in your body, that's where the somatics come in. And your body gives you a lot of signals on whether something is good for you or not good for you. But, you know, sometimes we like to F around and find out.
Yeah, too much.
Yes.
Too much.
But, you know, that's, you know, but what I've also learned through Vedic astrology is like, no, it's part of our karma to go through those things and to learn from them. And once we can alchemize those things, that's when our gifts open up even more. And then we can ascend into a higher timeline, which is, you know, beautiful. So,
yeah, and I think like the common denominator in what truly transforms us and our lives is taking a leap. Like you said, you left corporate, you left the security, you left the money because there was such a big sacrifice. And I think people have these blind spots around what it's actually costing them to stay in situations or relationships and environments that aren't aligned. And sometimes we don't see it because we've lived in survival our whole lives. So we don't know what alignment looks like. We don't know what feels like. We don't know what safety feels like. So there's nothing, there's no light at the end of the tunnel because we haven't experienced it.
yeah.
But with the women as well at the retreat, like they took that leap and invested in themselves and showed up, and it changed them forever. And like they left their jobs, they left their kids at home, some of them, and it's like they just had this feeling that this is for me, like there's a calling, and we just have to follow that calling every single time it shows up. Like I remember when I moved to LA at 23 from Sweden, that was just like a feeling that I had. And Sweden felt too small and too comfortable and boxed in, and I had no idea where that was going to take me. Or the moment I decided to move to Bali, or the moments I decided to leave my relationships, no matter how painful that was. And there's this like human fear of uncertainty that will always be there until we change our relationship with uncertainty, instead of feeling like that's scary, that's dark, things are not going to work out. Like in that void space, in that uncertainty is actually where the magic happens, and where we actually come the version of us that will have the things that we desire. But it won't happen. We won't get to that point until we make that leap.
Yes, we won't get there by playing safe or small. Yes, and I say that it's good fear.
Yeah.
You know, the scary fear where you're like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, girl, you know, and then there's good fear like, I'm just scared, but I don't know, like, and like you said, like giving up the money. People have asked me like years afterwards, they're like, was it really worth it for you to give up all that money? Because at 25, I was already making like 6 figures, you know? And so they're like, was it really worth it for you? And every single time I'm like, hell yes.
Yeah.
Hell yes, because I have freedom. I could do whatever I want. I choose what I want to do every single day. I'm actually making a difference in this world. But I wouldn't have gotten there if I didn't take multiple leaps of faith. And, you know, even how... You know, your podcast is about the art of alignment. So let's talk about that, because Andrea and I didn't plan to be in Bali at the same time. Okay. Like it just happened that way. First of all, the wind just blew me here, you know, and then Andrea was here. We were here at the very same time
last year.
And we were talking about even years before, because we had been doing trade sessions on each other, breathwork and Reiki, and we had talked about, and we've been doing day events in LA together, and we're like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to do like a retreat like together,
Yeah.
And then we were in Bali, we're like, oh yeah, wouldn't that be cool to do? and then my mom passed, and everything just crumbled for me. But even in that moment of so much loss, because it was more than my mom that I had lost, I still had faith that like universe had something, they were preparing me for something great. And then I don't know how many months after my mom passed, and we're like, let's just like try to do the Bali retreat. Why not? And then Andrea had just moved here for like longer. And I'm like, I'm down, let's come back. And I feel like if we weren't together at the same time in Bali last year, spending time together and like being aligned in that, we might not have even like gone here this quickly.
Right.
And you were going through a lot of loss and transitions yourself, and so was I. So let's talk a little bit about relationships.
We need another hour. No, I'm kidding.
Yes. Let's just share a little bit about your shift and the choices that you made that led you to where you are right now.
Well, when we when we were in Bali at the same time last year, I had decided to come here for my 5-week yoga certification.
Right.
And I was going through a breakup or a breaking point in my relationship at the time. And it was not a healthy relationship. It was very emotionally abusive and manipulative. And I didn't realize it while I was in it, which is so common when we're in these type of relationships. Any unhealthy, trauma-bonded relationship, but especially emotionally abusive, narcissistic relationships.
Right. Which I think can happen. That's why sometimes you'll be like, oh my gosh, look at that woman. She's so strong. She's a boss. Like, how could she end up in a relationship like that? Like, it could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Yeah. So. And I think that's the thing, too, where the strength that the women has in these relationships is tolerance, is I'm so empathic, I am so kind and understanding. And so the strength that we pedestalize in society really and glorify ourselves is that I can handle this pain that is present in the relationship because we have a great capacity for that. And most of the time, women that find themselves in these relationships, including myself, has a father wound or childhood environments where that were very chaotic and they had to grow up fast and be the emotional caretaker. And so that conditioning is present. And so most women that are in these relationships, and especially with narcissists, are incredibly strong and are also usually highly intuitive, emotionally attuned, because there has to be something that they are attracted to and they want, because they see this magical shiny thing that they desire. And because they don't have access to their own light and, there's so much darkness and shame within them, then it becomes this source when we talk about supply or like siphoning a woman's energy. Like it's really strong, capable, powerful, intuitive women. It's just that sometimes we feel like that intuition is like flown out the window when we're in those relationships. And really for me, I felt like that relationships was I say it all the time, was like my final boss, like in a video game where it's like
Voldemort. that's what we call him. We call
slay
him
this final boss.
Yes.
And because my relationship prior to that was also trauma bonded and emotional unavailability, but it wasn't that level of like manipulation. And so I lost myself and I didn't see it while I was in it. And every woman who's been in those relationships can relate that it's scary, because one day you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, who is she? Like, what happened? And so Bali, when I decided to come here, I was in my own energy for a longer time. And in that relationship we were in long distance, so I already had that kind of separation, which I think was good. Otherwise I probably would have lost myself even more. But this was the first time when I was here that I was like, this is what it's supposed to feel like. Even though there was a lot of drama around it, I felt like, oh, this is what it feels like when I'm in my own energy, when I can return to myself. And it became so clear to me that this is not right, and I need to end this. And I always try to explain this shift that happened when I broke this pattern, but I can't. But it was, I had a moment of, there was this choice of, you either continue to choose the little boy in him, or you finally choose the little girl in you.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And it was really that decision of like, you have been self-abandoning in different ways your whole life, and this is costing you everything. Like, it's costing you yourself. And so I had to make that decision. And once I did, it was like my whole reality, I shifted timelines, really.
Yep.
And I want to say too, that's why I became so even more passionate about helping women that find themselves in these relationships, because I understand it requires a different level of healing and a different level of work when you've gotten to that point to break that pattern, and also to heal your nervous system after, like the damage that it does to your nervous system being in these relationships for a long time. And so many women are married and have been in these kind of relationship for 1 or 2 decades. And so I really it was full on devotion to my healing. Like, it was the number one priority to break these patterns. So on a subconscious level, on a somatic level, on a nervous system level. And I think that's what's really important when it comes to healing, that I think most people don't honor, is that sometimes it will require like a full season of your life, and that's okay. But we're taught that, oh, we don't have time to grieve, we don't have time to focus solely on ourselves and heal our nervous system. Like, where's the space for that? And I know myself, you can probably relate to this too. Thank God that we have this freedom, because if you would have still been in corporate now that you lost your mom, where is the time?
Yeah.
When I lost my dad, I was just starting my career as a personal trainer. I was still with the gym, and it was like, oh, you have 2 weeks.
Right, which is crazy.
Yeah. And that's not enough time to grieve anything. So, like, the biggest gift, I mean, I know that entrepreneurship is maybe not for everyone, because it's a wild ride, but I do think the greatest gift that we can give ourselves, especially as women, is to create a life and a business where we have the freedom to honor every season that we're in, and pour into ourselves whenever, like every single day. Nothing bad has to happen, but I feel like I really am so grateful, because when my dad died, I was like, I don't ever want to be in this place again where I feel like I cannot take the time to grieve, and I need to create that freedom for myself. And now, moving through this breakup and this healing myself, like, I knew that I needed to heal my nervous system, and I felt called to move to Bali, and thank God I have created a life and a business where I can do it from anywhere in the world, and I could make that decision.
Yeah, such a blessing. Such an incredible blessing. And shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, I was gonna say is that I feel that, and I agree with that, because to me, success and abundance isn't necessarily just money, cash flow. It's Freedom. We were brought onto this earth not to hustle, not to overwork ourselves, not to be drained every single day, but to actually enjoy life, to choose what we want to do in life and have that freedom. But it takes letting go of the old versions of ourselves and taking that ultimate leap of faith and being willing to go through the ups and downs of the journey, because there are definitely some downs, you know, but the more you heal yourself, the more you gain like different modalities, the less the roller coaster is going to be so high and low. It's going to even out a little bit here and there. And I do want to talk about the relationship thing, right? So I work with a lot of couples, and through Reiki, through coaching, through Vedic astrology, to help them understand their karma with themselves and with each other. But every time I tell a woman, it's actually you who sets the tone. You know, it's you who sets the tone. Because, I mean, I'm not trying to be general, but let's just say, like, you know, a man will accept whatever you give them. So you're going to overgive and give everything and, you know, not give to yourself. They'll be like, okay, not every man. All right. Because the divine masculine will be very aware and respect and honor your needs and your space and your gifts. But some men, they'll just accept everything. And so if you give them everything and if you blur the lines of your boundaries, they're going to be cool with it. But it's really up to us as women to really know ourselves, know our boundaries, and speak them out. You know, I've even seen people in marriages who they've been married for a long time, and then she'll start speaking up. And she's scared to speak up because she's like, I don't know, I haven't done this in so long, blah, blah, blah. And then she'll start saying, like, you know, I'm not going to fold the laundry and do everything tonight. You know, I'm going to put it on hold, or you can help me too. You know, and their efforts are like, what? But if that divine masculine is aligned to you, loves you, respects you, honors you, they will shift as you shift. And I've seen it time and time again that as the divine feminine shifts and ascends, so does the divine masculine. So it's actually helping the whole partnership all together. But if they don't ascend with you, then, you know, what you gonna do?
It's not aligned.
Aligned, you know, and it's hard to let that go. But what are you gonna do? Stay in that lower vibration forever, you know? And no judgment, but that's really up to you. And I say this to my girlfriends too, you know, I'm never going to judge you for whatever you're doing and going through. I get it. I've been there too. But one day you're going to keep on doing the shit until one day you get sick of your own shit. And until that day comes, you know, you're going to do it. So, which is fine. But yeah. And also, my experience with my twin flame, which that's a whole other episode too, but twin flames, it's like really intense catalyst relationship to help you into your highest self. And some people think it's all about love. And yeah, it's about love, but it's really about your own empowerment. And I remember just something you said about the relationships. I remember with, he wasn't there for me in a way that like I needed him to wanted him to be. And he's like, oh, but Theo, I know you're so strong, so you got this on your own. And I was like, I'm like, bitch. No.
Yeah.
Bitch. No, with respect. I was like, just because I'm strong doesn't mean I want to have to be strong all the time. Okay? And I feel like a lot of women can relate to that. Hell yeah, we're strong. Ooh, I just got full body chills.
But we don't want it.
Yeah. It's like we're strong, we're intelligent, we're gifted, we're compassionate, we're nurturing. We give birth. You know, we literally give birth to human beings. Like women are so all encompassing and powerful, but we also want to feel soft and loved and taken care of and supported. You know, an equal synergy between each person.
Well, when you're talking about karmic connections and karmic cycles, I think the most important thing that we can do, which is so hard, and especially we see a lot of content out now on social media too that is just amplifying the division between men and women, and it's like this gender war that's going on, right? And the most powerful thing that we can do is to not blame the other person and really just take ownership. And again, see it as a blessing and see it as an initiation to our own just highest timeline and highest version of ourselves. And, you know, before we are elevated and embodied into the version of us that we're meant to be, like, these relationships are required. If I look back, I would never have been able to see my conditionings and see how I was self-abandoning, and I wasn't fully embodied in my self-worth, and I had this wound that a lot of people, like healers and people that are doing this work, especially women, have, that I want to be the one that helps them realize that they can change and help them heal. And like, that was so, I thought I was over it, but then clearly I wasn't. And so these relationships are truly, without them, we wouldn't be able to become who we're meant to be, but we have to choose to make that decision. And if we don't, if we keep pointing fingers and we keep asking, why do I always attract, and we don't do something about it, and we break this pattern, it's just, we're going to attract the same partners, just with a different name, a different face, and it's going to be the same thing all over again. And so I think it's just, it makes life more magical in general, not just with a relationship, but just to have that perspective of, what is this teaching me? Like, all the challenges that we move through, like, what can I learn from this? It's always a mirror, it's always a reflection, and it's always an opportunity to just return to truth. Like, and this is something that we talked about at the retreat too, because a lot of women felt still this need to perform. And there is this space now where even healing and self-development has become performative and has become this forever striving to be better and to be more healed. I've been there too. And it's still rooted in, I'm not fully embodied in my self-worth. They're like, I don't feel fully good enough unless I'm there, unless I'm here. And I think it comes to a very important moment in our healing journey when we understand that, yes, I can always evolve. I will always evolve. There's no ending to this journey, right? But right now, in this moment, I am perfect the way that I am. This version of me is exactly the way that she's supposed to be. And like, just feel good in that. And I think, like, the most important part of our healing journey as women is to really embody our inherent worth, because we place the value in, like you said, in money, in success, or in love, being chosen, or having a family, getting married, having a baby, like all of these things that society pedestalized and define as success. And then we lose ourselves, we lose the truth of who we are and what's true to us, because it's different, and like, you get to live your life exactly the way that you want to,
unapologetically, boo. Yes.
Yeah.
And it is so important to give yourself grace and to love all versions of you. And even in your deepest, darkest moments, that's where you need to love yourself the most. It's like, know that you are loved even when you don't feel loved, you know, and just holding on to that. And sometimes it is just blind faith that you need to hold on to during the darkest times. But it is truly the pain, like you had mentioned, but it's like, pain is an opportunity to level up, to power. I mean, you have two choices, right? Either wallow in the pain and just be in victim mode, which, you know, I think we've all been in at some point, or to finally, you know, grab the bull by the horns and turn that into power. And when you do that, yes, it's hard. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it might be the most difficult thing you've ever done in your life. But whoo, when you come onto the other side and it's like a brand new you, but still honoring who you were, who you are now, and who you're about to become as well. All versions. Oh, I got chills again. Yes. The angels are loving it. Yes, yes. And I do want to go back to the fact that, you know, a lot of women, we feel like, you know, in relationships, we're like, oh, maybe I'm the one who can change him, or maybe I can da-da-da-da. No. Have you heard of the save a hoe complex?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah, exactly.
But save a bro.
Yeah, save it. You know, don't save that hoe. Save this hoe. You know, like we need to save ourselves first.
Yeah.
Before trying to say, you know, it's not even our job to save anybody else.
Yeah.
Right. We have to fully love ourselves, fill up our cups, be abundant in our own love and our own energy, and in a very divine, feminine, like natural way, the cup overfloweth. And when it overflows, our magic and our gifts and our love touches all the people around us.
Yeah.
And we don't even have to tip our cup like that anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be such an over giver, and I would be giving out of an empty cup. And I felt like it was my obligation to like help everybody. But now it's like, oh, it feels so good to just be in my own space. Still help people.
Yeah.
But when I'm feeling like grounded myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so a lot of the women who came to the Wild Woman retreat, you know, some of them were feeling lost, broken, confused, dense, you know, in their energy, shy even, you know. One of them in particular, I remember the very beginning, I think you know who I'm talking about, right? Like she's very just like,
Yeah.
And at the very end, she was like, wow. It was so beautiful to witness. But it took them really taking that leap of faith. And I also wanted to just give them a shout out and honor them for taking the leap of faith, for coming, but also being so vulnerable, so open, because no one knew each other.
Everyone came by themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, that can be kind of scary.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, ooh. And it was like day one, we were like, bam, let's go. Because, you know, we have a lot to do in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And so we're like, go, go, go. But with a little bit of rest in between, of course. And everyone was just like, okay, showing up every morning. Yeah, every morning. Morning movement, morning meditation, let's go. Okay, Reiki, let's go. Breath work, let's go. Dark feminine work, let's go. Water ceremony. Okay, let's talk about a little bit about why we chose Bali for the Wild Woman retreat. Okay, so first of all, if you don't know, that Bali actually sits on the Ring of Fire. Where, you know, there's certain, like, I'm like, I don't know the details. I'm not good with science, but, you know, the plates of earth and things, right? They are, Google it, okay?
Google it.
They're placed in a certain way that also, in the spiritual realm, thins the veil here. So when you come here, that's why people come here for a lot of transformation and quick, rapid transformation. Because it is on the Ring of Fire, which is very transformative. So not only that, but Bali is within Indonesia. It's one of the islands within Indonesia. And it is actually, I think, the only Hindu island as well. All of the other islands and part of the country are mostly Muslim. And so this is a very unique here. And and there's a different type of Hinduism as in India too. It's their own little unique one. And they actually also really worship like the, I believe, goddess of water. So correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, y'all. But basically, water is a very powerful source here for healing. And so Andrea and I did. I was like, girl, come on. So we hired my homie Ghazi, who's actually my homie through my other homie Dominique from the U.S. And Ghazi is Indonesian, and his mother are healers. And he's like, why don't you both come and try the water purification ceremony before the retreat?
Yeah. Well, also he said full moon ceremony.
Full moon.
So I was like, oh, we're gonna sit and be cute. Like,
I know, we didn't know.
Look at the full moon.
We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into.
No expectations.
We're like, okay, and well, first of all, we got there late, and so the sun was already setting, and so then we're like, oh, we gotta do this at nighttime. And it was actually meant to be. I know Andrea was like, this is scary. It's at nighttime.
It was pitch. You couldn't see anything.
Dark.
So dark.
So we go down to this river, right? And we're with a couple of men who were very safe, very like supportive, divine masculine energy. So that was great. So we go in and they fully submerge you into the water. So this is very different than what you see in the tourist water purification ceremonies. This is like, boom. And Andrea and I both come out of it like coughing and gagging and like throwing up. I think I threw up a little bit. I was like, and then we both were just screaming. And it was all underneath the light of the full moon with a few fireflies around, which is so magical. But it was so incredibly, releasing and transformative, which I'm glad that he took us before the retreat so we knew what to expect for the ladies. But days after that, Andrea and I were exhausted.
Yeah, I got sick too.
Right. And so part of the ascension symptoms, so ascension is basically when you're leveling up in your frequency. And so some of the symptoms are getting sick, extreme exhaustion, having no appetite, and then all of a sudden wanting to eat everything, having really vivid dreams, signs and synchronicities, messages, your gifts may even open up as well. And all these things were happening in a rapid amount of time. And so we rested a lot for the past few the days afterwards. But the water here is so beautiful. And the specific place that we take them, and we don't talk about where we go because it's special and it's sacred, and we don't want to share it with the public. So if you want to come experience it, you have to come to the Wild Woman Retreat. But I don't know if you felt it on the first night, but where the river converges, it's like the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy. It was like cold and warm coming together at the same time, and that's where we did our submersion. And it was so magical. Yeah. So powerful. And I just want to say thank you to Ghazi and his mother, Mika, as well. They're incredible healers and guides. And we honestly, it could not have been more aligned.
No. And it was so incredibly powerful to witness all the women do it too. Yeah. And I feel like that's what's so beautiful about our retreat and what the women express too, that like every little thing is so intentionally created and planned. We really have just, go within ourselves and feel like, okay, what would the past versions of me have needed in their times, in their transformations, in their embodiment of, and like you said in the beginning, inevitably it's gonna have that impact on us too. Yeah. In just holding space, and we're all in a portal together. But we really pour our hearts and souls into this, and that is so felt. And it was just, I couldn't have asked for a better first one. Oh my gosh. It's and every woman that came and that we attracted into the space, and it's like you have to be there to experience it. We've tried our best, and shout out to
Adia Warja
for capturing it so beautifully.
So good.
But it's like you could not have. You feel the magic the way that it's only felt here. And like you said, Bali, why we chose it, it's such a special place just because of the nature, and also always the people here and just the energy here. If you've been here, you know that. And also because you and I both went through such a transformative time when we were here last year, when we birthed this idea. And Bali gives you what you need.
Yeah. Bali doesn't always give you what you want, but it's gonna give you what you need. So sometimes that's smacking your face in the wall on a moped accident, which is what happened to me last year. So, but I needed that awakening, and it is such a special place. And I have to say that if you come on the Wild Woman Retreat, or if you even come on your own, it's really so important for you to come with an open heart and open mind, but also with respect. Respect toward the land, the deities, the gods here, the culture, the people, and respect toward yourself and every single person that you meet. Here they really believe in karma. And so, what kind of karma do you want to build for yourself? Yeah. So I guess the question is for, whoever is listening to this right now is like, are you ready? Are you ready to choose yourself? Are you ready to transform? Because if you are, we are here and ready to receive you, ready to prop you up and help you see the best version of yourselves, and to also work through the tough times. And also sisterhood. Yeah. One of my favorite parts of the retreat was the slumber party. Yeah. Because we're like, let's do something that feeds our inner children, inner girls, So we had my girl Kian and her assistant Nani, and we did like braids, and we just had like tarot, we had food and music. We're just shaking our asses. Dancing and giggling and just hanging out and having sisterhood. And that was So
Really.
beautiful and so bonding. What was your favorite part? I know there's so many favorite parts, but
There's so many. I think just watching every woman just transform into a new version
Yeah.
of themselves, like really bloom and take up more space,
Yeah.
and just like their whole energy just shifted, and just watching that transformation in real time, because when you go on retreats like this, you really collapse time. And that's why the shifts are so big, and that's why you see these transformations in just a week. And to just see that from every day to the next, like how they're returning more and more back home to themselves, and they feel more grounded in their truth.
Yeah.
Like that's the priceless.
It is priceless.
It's so beautiful.
And it just confirms more and more like that we're doing what we should be doing, you know, and it's this ripple effect that we're creating, and then they're going to help other people.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then it's just going to grow. And I feel like that's ultimately the goal of all of this, is to spread that love and spread that light to help heal not only ourselves, our ancestral line, but humanity and the world. But it all starts from within
Individually,
here first. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, like, regardless where you are in your life, if you're listening to this and you feel like I really want to go, like, just trust that pull. Trust your intuition. Like, I have felt a pull to go to Bali for over a decade, and I haven't been, and now I'm like, oh, I'm, you know, honoring the divine timeline.
Yes.
But it makes so much sense why that pull was in my soul and in my heart, because I was meant to come here and just live my life exactly how I wanted and be the most happiest, peaceful, like powerful version of myself here. And I owe a lot of that to that leap and choosing Bali and like honoring what's true to me. And so it just shows that if it's in your heart, if you feel a pull, like it's meant for you, and everything else will figure itself out. I have to say, just quickly, like one example is one of the women felt the pull and wanted to go and felt like she probably couldn't pull it off financially at the time.
Yeah.
And then one of my other clients, because she was a client of mine, another one of my clients reached out to me and said, I want to offer to pay for a woman's space. And she even said, it has to be someone that I also know of. And then this woman got on a call with her, and she was like, this she's meant to be there.
Yeah, and she definitely was.
And she was.
Oh my gosh.
And
yes.
I just like, that is the magic and the ripple effect of this work. And just like, if you feel the pull, just trust that God will provide for you. Like everything will work out the way it's meant to, but you have to, you know, you have to claim your desire, and you have to go for it. And then trust that life is going to bring you exactly where you're meant to be.
Trust. That's a big one. Well, I'm so grateful for you.
I'm so grateful for you.
And I'm so grateful for everything that we just started building, everything that's coming, and grateful for everyone who's listening to this now, who shared this last hour with us. And here's to just more healing, more love, more empowerment, and being and unleashing the wild woman within you all.
And we hope we see you at the Wild Woman Retreat.
Let us know if you have any questions. And this was a great little duo episode.
Yeah,
we need to do
I love
more
it.
of
We'll
these.
do more. We'll
definitely do more.
Yeah, we have a lot of things to talk about.
We do. I was just like that. I'm like, we can go on.
we can go here. We can go here. Yeah,
You'll
hear more from us.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I love you.
I love you.
All right. So
thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Hey, love. Thank you so much for tuning into the Pain Into Power podcast. If this episode spoke to your soul, please take a moment to rate, review, and share it with someone who might need this message today. You can connect with me on Instagram at Healing House of Theo or visit loveisthehighestfrequency.com to learn more about how we can potentially work together on all levels: energy healing, speaking engagements, tarot divination, empowered photo shoots, soul transformational coaching, visual storytelling, music, and so much more. For podcast business inquiries or to sponsor an episode, please email me at thepainIntoPowerPodcast@gmail.com. Remember, love is the highest frequency, and pain isn't where your story ends. It's where your awakening begins. Until next time, keep turning your pain into power and self-sabotage into self-love.